As the crowd gathered, there was a heavy silence in the air. A silence that spoke volumes about the love, respect, and heartbreak that filled the space. They had come to honor a fallen hero, K9 Bane. This wasn't just any dog. Bane was a noble creature, a warrior in his own right, who had given his life in the line of duty. His life was taken during an evil act, yet his sacrifice was one made with honor. He had done what he was trained for, protecting the officers who served beside him and the community he swore to defend. To those who knew him, Bane was so much more than a pet, more than just a tool or an asset.
He served this community with unwavering loyalty.
He was a partner, a protector, a symbol of loyalty and bravery. He was created by God, trained by a select group of officers who dedicated their lives to working alongside these courageous animals. These animals, when called upon, would not hesitate to sacrifice everything for the safety of others. As the service began, the grief in the room was palpable. It was only fitting that they grieve these animals. These K9 partners are reflections of their handlers' hearts.
Go find him, Max. Search the area.
The bond between a handler and their K9 is something sacred, something deep and unbreakable. Bane had not only protected his handler, but he had also protected everyone who was ever in harm's way. And now, that bond was shattered, leaving only the raw ache of loss. The speaker, with a solemn voice, addressed Bane's handler. "To you and your family, we grieve alongside you. Only a few of us can truly understand the depth of the pain you feel right now." But know this, Bane's sacrifice will never be forgotten. He honored his promise to you, as he always did. He brought you home safely, just as he did for every officer he worked beside. His eyes were your eyes, his ears your ears, and his nose your nose.
And gave his life in the water. We honor the sacrifice of K9 Officer Max. His loyalty to this community and to his handler was absolute. His courage and sacrifice in the line of duty exemplified the very best of us. The bond we shared was special. His unwavering loyalty and sacrifice stand as a testament to the bond we share. He risked his life protecting his teammates, and we honor him today. We are here to honor the sacrifices this
His life was a reflection of yours, and he gave it all for the greater good. As the words hung in the air, there was a collective sense of sorrow, but also of gratitude. Gratitude for Bane's unwavering service, for the way he lived with an unshakable dedication to his work.
Contributions of K9 officer. His sacrifice will not be forgotten. We gather here today to honor the memory of a true hero.
His role was never easy every day. He and his handler were called to face danger, to venture into dark alleys and unknown places, places where others would hesitate to go. But Bane never hesitated. He never faltered.
We see that loyalty reflected even now. This flag represents a lifetime of service and dedication to the community they swore to protect. Today we we honor K9 Bane, he was not just a companion, but a protector. His work, from search and rescue to dangerous situations, set an example for us all.
His courage, his trust, and his loyalty were always at the forefront, and in turn, his handler trusted him with everything. The speaker continued, acknowledging the unbreakable bond between Bane and his handler, Curtis. You and Bane were a team.
He stood the line with courage and loyalty. The Phoenix Police Department, Bane's dedication to this city will never be forgotten. Today we pay tribute to K9 Bane. The courage and dedication of officers.
Your bond was forged in the heat of dangerous calls, through long nights, and the kind of work that most people could never understand. You worked side by side, each of you relying on the other.
Rangers served this community with unparalleled bravery. His sacrifice is a profound loss, and we are eternally grateful.
Bane gave you his trust and loyalty, and you gave him yours. That bond was unshakable. As the service went on, the room was filled with emotions, grief, yes, but also immense respect for what Bane had given, for what all K9s like him gave.
Bane, over. Good job, buddy. 1, 2, 3. Find it, Bane. Search. Good boy, that's a good job. Well done. Hup. Attack. Stop. Find Bane. Find the person, Bane. Good boy. Over, Bane. Good boy. Wait. Back. Heel. Walk on. Good boy, Bane. Right here. Stop. Good. Attaboy. Go, Bane. Find the trail, Bane. Go, Bane.
The law enforcement community, the K9 units, the handlers, they all understood the pain, the loss, and the unspoken connection between them and their four-legged partners. These dogs didn't just serve, they lived for the safety and protection of the communities they served. And in Bane's case, he gave everything for that cause. At the service, the audience witnessed a moment of tribute just yesterday. A tree had been planted in Bane's honor, a living memorial, a symbol of the life he led and the mark he left on the world. Curtis stood there, honoring Bane's sacrifice, and the speaker offered a final heartfelt thank you. Curtis, thank you, and thank you to Bane. For your service, for your bravery, you kept us safe. Godspeed, my friend. Godspeed, Bane. And with that, the crowd stood silent, their hearts heavy with grief and gratitude. They knew that Bane's legacy would live on, etched in the hearts of everyone who knew him.